Are you thinking about applying to business school this year? Most people worry about all the wrong things. Today, I'm going to tell you what are the 3 most important things you need to start with to create a strong foundation for your MBA application. Welcome to MBA Monday, friends. I'm Angela Guido, the founder of MBA Protocol, and I use my experiences as an MBA, as a management consultant at BCG, and as a recruiter of MBAs for BCG and also for KPMG to help you navigate your journey to greater leadership through the MBA. Today, I'm talking about the 3 most important foundational things that you really need to do to build a strong MBA application. And please stick around to the end because the 3rd one is really the most important in 2025, and it's something that almost no one thinks about. First things first, let's talk about the pitfalls that many applicants make when they start their journey. Because as soon as you decide, yes, an MBA is for me, then your mind immediately goes to things like, how am I going to tackle this GMAT? How am I going to update my resume? You grab your transcripts from college and freak out about that C you got that you never thought would matter and that you never thought anyone would care about. You might rush to network with schools and try to really get to know the programs quickly before you decide or as part of your beginning research process. And all of this is important, but not as the first step. All of these steps will be important and meaningful if you bring them into the picture after you've done the 3 things I'm going to talk to you about today. All right, so let's talk about the 3 things that you must do before you apply to business school and ideally before you even begin that MBA application journey. The first thing is define your career goals. On the old channel, I have a ton of videos about building your career game plan, but I'm going to start the MBA Protocol channel and this new MBA Monday season off strong by talking to you about envisioning a future that genuinely inspires you. This has to be your first step on your MBA journey because the entire point of going to business school is so that you can have a better career. The degree itself is worthless. It's a piece of paper. It means nothing for you unless it's going to forward your genuine ambitions in your career. And like I frequently say, if you are applying to business school, it's probably because you have a vision for leadership. You have impact. There's something you want to contribute. And the MBA gets you closer to that. So you need to think about what's your plan? How are you going to turn whatever you've got before, wherever your career has been, and add the MBA? And then what are the steps you're going to take to move towards a career that you really love? What are the pieces? That's my meditation app reminding me that it's time to meditate. I'll get back to that later. What you want to do is think through the 2 biggest pieces of your post-MBA career game plan. The first is your long-term vision, and the second is your short-term goal, which is what are you going to do immediately after your MBA? How are you going to bridge the MBA to kind of where you want to be? And in the short term, you want to be really pragmatic. You want to target roles that are actually possible for you coming out of business school. And if you want a really deep dive into where all the graduates from top MBA programs end up, you can download our free career report. This is something we put together for the community. It's a tremendous resource. I don't think anyone is really reading this document because it's 120 pages. But if you go through this, and by the way, you can download it. We'll put the link in the comments below, and we're going to put a QR code on the screen. If there's a QR code here, scan it. If not, go down to the comments and click the link to get our career report, because if you read it, you will be an expert on post-MBA jobs. You will be ready to compile a set of goals, a specific goal that admissions committees will immediately believe because it's targeted to what's real, to where MBAs actually go. And then you can begin building your plan from there. But in my heart, the most important thing that you do is really figure out your long-term vision. So I'm going to talk about that in a future video and really give you the tools to dream big so that as you're moving forward through all the challenges of the MBA journey, you're inspired and you can keep your eyes on the prize. All right, second critical thing you have to do before you go down the road too far of applying to business school is you need to think about your personal story. And I know it's commonplace to think about, well, I'll figure out my story later. That's the essay part. That's the last part. Like after I have my GMAT and after I've picked my schools and all that, I'm going to work on my story. I know this is what you're thinking. I know there's a lot of advice about this. And I know that the average applicant is following this path, but it's a huge missed opportunity because what drives your ultimate success in the final application process is your story. It's going to come down to a lot of things, your resume, your test scores, your GPA. There are a lot of components to your application, but the one thing that you have the most power over between now and when you hit submit to move the needle and influence the admissions committee to fall in love with you and to choose you is your story. Your story is about who you are as a person. It's about what motivates you, your values, the moments of growth that have shaped your life and that have maybe shaped your goals. It's about why now is the right time for you to pivot into greater leadership through the MBA. What most people do when they start telling their story is that they just go to the resume. It's like they start listing out a bunch of achievements and they try to sound perfect or try to sound corporate, try to sound really professional. And when you do that, you leave out the pieces of your story that are actually going to inspire the admissions committee and the pieces of your story that actually inspire you. You know, if my first point was figure out a practical plan for your goals while also creating an inspiring vision, my second point here is to really allow yourself to be inspired by who you are, by your story. This has to be the substrate. This has to be the foundation of your application. It's what you're standing on as you tackle practice test after practice test on the GMAT. It's what you are going to rely on when it comes to interviews, when you're trying to show schools who you really are and that you really belong. So if you want a head start on unpacking your story, I recommend that you check out our MBA Story Quiz. This is a brand new resource. We just put it out. It's a few questions. You go and answer these questions about your career to date, and it will tell you your MBA story archetype. There are a handful of archetypes that sort of really define the boundaries of an MBA story and will put you on the path towards your most inspiring story as you seek to become a leader and to gain access to great MBA programs. Okay, now down to the third step, and this is a really simple one, but it's important to think about, and that is make a plan to get a return on your MBA investment. This is a step that most people don't think about because you're focused on the future, you're focused on what's coming next, on increased responsibility, authority, status, and income that will no doubt result from the MBA. But given market dynamics, given the state of the world and the economy and all the uncertainty that we're facing, you really want to approach your MBA with just thoughtful clarity about how you're going to make sure that the investment you make in the MBA is going to pay off for you personally. And there are really three big pieces to this. The first is to really think thoughtfully about the kinds of jobs that you're going to get, how much they pay, how much more that is from where you are today, and how long it's going to potentially take you to pay off your loans. For that first piece, you want to go look at our career report because that tells you what do people make when they graduate from business school, from all the top business schools. Again, it's linked in the description below, so go download it and think carefully about what are the jobs you actually want to get and what do they pay. And then in terms of figuring out how long it's going to take you to pay off your loans, figure out what your living expenses are and how much of your post-MBA salary can go towards paying off your loans in the early years. This is just a quick annual calculation based on what your extra income will be and how quickly you want to pay down your MBA debt. The second piece is really thinking about how, if at all, you can reduce the cost of your MBA. And the easiest way to do this is to get an MBA scholarship. I'm going to do a whole video about MBA scholarships because it's a kind of a black box, and it's not like you can go and find scholarships online. You might be able to, but they won't be massive. The really good MBA money comes from schools themselves, and the way to get those scholarships is to be one of the strongest candidates at the school you're applying to. That's a combination of both your statistics and the quality of your application. This, by the way, is where we come in. MBA Protocol students get an average of over $90,000 in scholarships to the schools that they are admitted to. We took all the money that our clients have earned from schools in unsolicited scholarships, and some of them solicited scholarships, over the last 8 years, and we divided it by all of our clients who got into schools, and that's the average amount of scholarships that they get. This happens because people follow all the advice that I'm giving you in this video, and also all of the resources and coaching that we provide as you go through your application journey. It's an amazing process. It's wonderful. If you want to talk to us about working with us, if you want to request a strategy call, you can do that at the link below, or that button is pretty much everywhere on our website. Just go to mbaprotocol.com and click the button that invites you to have a free consultation with us. It's a no pressure call. We'll talk about your MBA strategy. We'll talk about whatever advice we have for you on your journey, and then we'll let you know how and what's the best way for you to work with us to maximize the caliber of your application through storytelling, through career goal setting, and through just really presenting the most inspiring picture possible of yourself in the application. So that's the second part. And then the third part, the final part in figuring out what the MBA is going to cost you, is to really look honestly at the alternative options to getting an MBA. So once you've figured out how much it's going to cost and how long it's, how it's going to increase your earnings, how long it's going to take you to pay down your debt, and how you can reduce the cost of it, then you have a sense of, okay, this is what I'm looking at. This is what the MBA investment is likely going to be for me. Is it worth it? And is there any other way for me to achieve what I'm trying to achieve through the MBA, through another pathway, either through reading books or taking an online course, or maybe applying to a different style of MBA program, a part-time MBA where you can keep your job, or an online MBA, again, where it's cheaper and you can keep your job. There are puts and takes for all of these choices. And I've made videos about all of this, which we will link to in the description below. So if you're thinking about, is an online MBA program worth it? We have a video for that. I'll link it down below. So these are the three big pieces. Think about what are your goals? What's your story? And how are you going to pay for the MBA, and is it worth it for you? These are the three big steps that you want to take before you go down the whole journey of all the things that applying to business school entails. Couple of closing words for you. If you're here, if you're watching this video, if you're even considering applying to business school, it's because you know that you have greatness inside you, and you want to express that through your career. You want to lead. You want to have an impact. You want your career to matter for more than just you. And that's really what we're here for on this channel. In everything I do personally, that's what I'm here for. So please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell if you want to hear more from me as you're applying to business school. You can, of course, always request a call directly with our team. And please avail yourself of all the amazing free resources that we've put together to help you build a career you love through the MBA, if that's the path you choose. I know it's a lot. I know it's overwhelming. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take one step at a time, and you will get there. The advice I gave you today will make sure that you start your journey off with inspiration, and that you're being pulled into a bigger future so that you can carry all the way through to the challenges ahead. Life has challenges, no big deal. You just got to keep going. I will be here every Monday to help you on your MBA journey. I will see you next week.